Are you hodling your Bitcoin during this bull market? Wait, what is hodling? Let's mind these. Many believe that HODL stands for hold on for dear life, but that's not completely true. HODL means to hold your Bitcoin and not sell. And if you're thinking that's not how you spell hold, you are correct. The term was actually a complete typo. You see, 10 years ago, an infamous whiskey-soaked Bitcoin talk post gave birth to the HODL meme. And believe it or not, it is still the best investment philosophy in Bitcoin history ever. It was coined back on December 18th, 2013, about $900 a Bitcoin when GameCube posted the message, just a few weeks after the price had just risen to a then all-time high of over $1,100. Since he was probably celebrating the 500% price increase, his inebriated state made him accidentally swap the L for the D. The energy and passion behind his mindset has inspired millions of people across the planet to treat their Satoshis like the precious assets they are. The idea to HODL is to simply hold your Bitcoin, stack humbly, and not worry yourself with the tax implications and the economic risks of attempting to time Bitcoin's inevitable and iconic roller coaster of volatility. By HODLing, not only do you keep your digitally scarce bearer asset out of the hands of the bigger fish traders, you get to keep your Bitcoin from ending up in the gullet of the two biggest market manipulating fish of them all, the IRS and the extended United States Budget Committee. And since not all heroes wear capes, here are some of the top Bitcoiners who have HODLed through thick and thin. We've got the Winklevoss Twins. They started hoarding Bitcoin using a portion of the $65 million court settlement they had with Facebook. Back in 2013, the twins stated that they have purchased 1% of the whole Bitcoin supply. And although the FTX debacle caused them to lose more than 60% of their Bitcoin wealth, they still kept hodling on. There's also Tim Draper, an American venture capitalist who paid $18.7 million, or approximately $632 per coin in 2014 to purchase 29,656 Bitcoin from the DOJ after the Silk Road seizure. Despite this sale, the DOJ itself is one of the largest whales in the world, holding just under 200,000 Bitcoin, worth around $8.2 billion. It is also no surprise that Michael Saylor is on this list, since he, in fact, holds over 17,732 Bitcoin himself, not to mention his company, MicroStrategy's 174,530 Bitcoin bought at an average of about $30,252 per coin. And of course, we have Satoshi Nakamoto, believed to be the biggest Bitcoin hodler of them all. With over 1 million Bitcoin, Satoshi is theorized to have mined over 22,000 blocks, earning a total of over 1 million Bitcoin in block rewards. The sad part of the story is that the creator of the HODL meme does not HODL Bitcoin himself anymore. So why should you care? Because if you own Bitcoin, you've probably asked yourself why many Bitcoiners misspell the word hold. And now you know. To HODL is to limit your exposure to not only the compounding lossy inflation vampire of fiat central banking, but also to humbly sit on your hands and self-custody your liquidity away from centralized fail-safes and the exposed attack vector that is trying to trade on public book. HODLing is not only just a good idea for avoiding capital gains taxes, but also a fantastic method of keeping your mental health intact as we surf the waves of true price discovery. For some, this is a revolution. For others, simply savings. But to all, stay humble and stack sats. Don't miss David Bailey Backstage. What are the most common mistakes people make that lead to the loss of their Bitcoin holdings?
Okay, so first off, there is a saying in Bitcoin that your Bitcoin OG-ness is not determined by how many Bitcoin you have, but by how many Bitcoin you've lost. And so it is a time-honored tradition to learn how to store your Bitcoin through messing it up every possible way that you can. In terms of the number one way, in my opinion, people lose their Bitcoin is investing their Bitcoin. buying tokens, buying equity investments, whatever, buying a house, a car. They spend their Bitcoin, they justify it somehow in their head, and then by the time they reconcile the math a few years later, they've lost 95% of their Bitcoin. So, you know, it is what it is.
So how essential are hardware wallets in ensuring the safety of Bitcoin assets? How do they differ from other storage methods like the ledger?
So I think the number one most important thing is self-custody of your Bitcoins. So however you're going to store them, you know, maybe after the way I invest in your Bitcoins, the second most popular way people lose their Bitcoins is keeping them on a custodial platform that rugs all their Bitcoins. So FTX, Genesis, Mt. Gox, whatever. It's an old tale as old as time in Bitcoin. So you want to self-custody your Bitcoins however you can. Hardware wallets create a nice experience that your everyday person can follow that implements 95% or 98% of like the best practices for security. So it's the least amount of work to have the most secure setup possible. And if you don't do the work, it's really easy to fuck up and you've lost your Bitcoin. So yeah, hardware wallets are like a solution for your parents.
Can you explain the importance of private keys and the best practices for keeping them secure? Like, what are your to-go tips for keeping your keys secure?
You know, I'd have a variety. So one is like, don't have all your Bitcoin sitting in one place. So, you know, I have my Bitcoin spread around multiple wallets, things that are redundant, things that are in multiple places. So you always want to make sure that like if something happens, there's some sort of backup or something you can go to. The next would be, again, just taking self-custody. 99%, actually, we'll say 95% of users don't self-custody their own Bitcoin. So just starting there is a massive improvement. Yeah, I would say like get off zero and then spread your risk around multiple places.
What would be a good hiding spot for your cold wallet?
Oh, well, that's definitely not something that you put on a video recording. So
no, but different ideas.
So I would say a place that you have access to without, you know, like if your keys are in Singapore and you can't get a flight, then can you access your Bitcoin at all? So like, you know, make a plan that's feasible and viable that you can actually act on, and it'll get you 99% of the benefits as like the most extravagant plan that you can imagine. Just keep your Bitcoin info secret. Keep it secret.
Do you think the government can take your Bitcoin once they know how much you have?
Well, they did it with gold. So, you know, I mean, they can't take it if they don't know you have it.